This year we've seen a lot of double spend attacks, and this can cost people a lot of money. So over the last week, I've been reading a lot about Vitalik Buterin's proposed consensus algorithm. I'm not even going to profess to know exactly how it works. I've looked at the website and I've got a general understanding of it. But basically what he's trying to do is raise the tolerance level from 50% to 99%. So this is the article here. I'll leave a link to everything I'm going to show you so you guys can check it out. I feel this one's quite technical for me, because I don't have a good enough understanding of a lot of the subjects he's talking about, if I'm honest. There's articles like this out there that kind of simplify it. Says requires 99% nodes for attacks. That one's a little bit too simplified. But I find this one's quite a good summary of it all. So you can see here, if you add even more assumptions, specifically you require observers to also be actively watching the consensus and not just downloading its output after the fact, you can increase fault tolerance all the way to 99%. Suggest that instead of requiring 50% of miners or stakers to be honest, there can be a method which requires only 1% of them to be honest. The dreaded 51% attack thus would, under this consensus algorithm, become a 99% attack. So down here it kind of explains that the network nodes only accept the first version of a transaction they receive to incorporate into the block they're trying to generate. When you broadcast a transaction, if someone else broadcasts a double spend at the same time, it's a race to propagate to the most nodes first. If one has a slight head start, it will geometrically spread through the network faster and get most of the nodes. And then it shows you an example. So if a double spend has to wait even a second, it has a huge disadvantage. So yeah, there's some other things here. It says that another use case for this would be detecting 51% censorship attacks as well. But essentially what you have is that you have validators, listeners that are checking that everything is okay. And this will help increase the amount of nodes that would have to be compromised to perform an attack. There's a bit down the bottom here that says if 5% of validators are honest, there's only a roughly 1 in 1 trillion chance that none of the 512 randomly selected nodes will be honest. So as long as the network latency plus clock disparity is less than d over 2, the above algorithm will work. So yeah, basically if the vast majority, if you've got a small percentage of your nodes are honest, perhaps they could be set up by trustworthy people involved in the team, but I think it'd be very hard for anyone to perform an attack when they need 99% of the nodes. Seems very, very difficult. I'm not sure how this would be implemented from a technical point of view. It's all there for you guys to read it there. I've had a look through it and I'm kind of scared to go through and break this down because I think I'll maybe explain it badly or say something wrong, which is why I was using this one to summarize. But I like, the general principle behind this is that when there's people listening to the network, not people, you got miners and nodes listening to the network, you can detect things that are wrong, abnormal behavior and things like that. And it seems like it does make it a lot more difficult for anyone to perform an attack. So it's going to be interesting to see how this will be implemented. Yes, Vitalik from Ethereum is the one that proposed it, but I think we're going to see a lot of new coins look at things like this, perhaps change the algorithm. Double spend attacks and 51% attacks really do influence what happens in the cryptocurrency world. I talked about NiceHash recently and how they're a source of attack. It's very easy to buy a lot of hash power there. But really, if you had an algorithm like that, then the NiceHash, the NiceHash marketplace situation wouldn't really be an issue. Because it'd be very, very hard for anyone to attack a coin if they had a setup like that. In theory, that's what that is suggesting. So, yeah, I think this would be a very good thing because at the moment, exchanges and all that, they have to add all these extra confirmations that, I know from SafeCoin, the Safe Trade Exchange, an hour, it could be an hour of confirmations for a deposit. When if you didn't have to worry about double spend attacks, it could be seconds or minutes or something like that. So I'm looking forward to see how this is implemented over the next year. I do think we're going to have to tackle issues like this, across the board. It's something I believe still plagues cryptocurrency as far as attacks and all that, and we need to get to the point where these kind of attacks can't happen easily. We need to make it almost impossible for an attack to happen. So I'll leave links to this, guys. I have a very simplified understanding of what's going on here. I'll put my hands up to that. Have a look at the article yourself. Have a look at the other articles as well. Let me know what you think about this. If you can explain a bit better than I can, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Take care.